Hello class, this is our last discussion for Module 7, and it was regarding reading the article and being specific about what we have learned and then ask 2 questions from what we have learned. A lot of this information is the same that we have learned all throughout the subject, which has been really good information and just reminding us how much that rural communities have challenges and barriers in getting the resources and the help that they need. I did find some statistics and some statements that I did not know that I learned about in this article. So hopefully those will be helpful and be able to just move us along in our social work status. This class has been really good for me for the fact that I plan to work specifically in rural communities, providing social work mainly to children and their families, but then also to young ladies who are incarcerated and coming out. So this information has been very helpful. But I will say that I've learned more of the challenges and the barriers than I feel like than all the necessary items I need to help to make a change. And I know we have been challenged in this class to apply the theories and think of ways of how we can make it better and make this happen. But I do not feel that one individual person can do this work. And this article did also prove that to me, that we really need to integrate many different agencies and groups and peoples to be stronger in the community and work with the social workers on providing the resources and the help that is needed for our families. So one of the statistics that I read in this article was that there are more clinically trained social workers than psychiatrists, psychologists, and psychiatric nurses combined. That amazed me. I know that these positions are not just by the leaps and bounds, but I honestly thought that there were more. And there are quite a few in private practice and such, but most of those are self-pay, and the people who really need the mental health help, well, we all need it at some point, but those who struggle and need it the most are low income to no income families who cannot afford that. But I thought that was very interesting that there are more clinically trained social workers than those three combined. So with that being said, why do we not have more available in our rural communities? And right underneath that on page 3 in the article, it says data compiled on the availability of behavioral health workers for the Rural Health Research Center indicated that while 65% of rural counties had some access to clinical social workers, only about 30% had access to medication prescribers specifically trained in mental health. And then 17% of the rural communities lacked any type of behavioral health, and 62% designated mental health professional shortage areas were in rural areas. And I definitely believe those statistics. It's not hard to compile that data, as I've shared in my project and other discussions. While our county spreads for 559 square miles, we have one hospital, we have like one mental health facility. We just don't have it. And then that itself is located minimally pretty much 20 to 30 minutes away from every spot, and even further from those that would really qualify for the help. So we've learned a lot and just discussed again all the barriers and the challenges that we have. And I did like in this article under proposed solutions and innovations on page 5 that creativity and innovation are key strategies in addressing the widespread unavailability and inaccessibility of specialized mental health care in rural areas. And it goes on to state how much we need to partner with especially faith-based organizations, specifically churches. And I will share that's even a barrier and a challenge of itself, because I go to a very small church and we are very active in helping our community, but we're also in one of those rural communities. And there are lots of churches actually in that community, but we are all so small, and it's already made up of low income, middle income families. So they're very limited on what they can give, but they are wonderful in their helping. But there are still so many people that need help, so we're very limited on who and how we can help. And because of so much help needed, we have to unfortunately put limits on how many family or how many times we can help the same family. And we don't like that, but it's just what it is. There's no way to really make that better unless we get lots of donations. We also just don't have a big enough facility or the right means to bring in certain things. However, I will say that we do host free community dinners. We do have a couple of church vans and we have run those. But again, we're just limited on all the access. So it would be good if we were able to just combine all of our small churches and do a huge project. And maybe that is something that I can, spread and get in mind. But again, it's going to be limited and not as much help as we really want to do. Our larger churches, that's not necessarily in our area because we don't have any large churches in our area. But if you go to town, then they're the ones doing all the work, and they are still limited with resources available. But people have partnered and come together, but there's still so many criteria that must be met. So my two questions are this: how can we truly get more community people to be on board on coming together as one and providing the help that we need, and for people to understand that mental health is a real thing and that all people, no matter what may be going on in life, do have the needs for mental health. And secondly, how do we just challenge others and those who do have the resources to really come together, work together as a group, and get this resources and the help needed to these areas? And how can we entice more social workers? What else can we truly do to not just talk about the challenges and the barriers, but make it to where it's less and less and have the provided help that we need? Thank you. Hope y'all have a great one.